I'm just now logging in, so yeah, you should. Are you? Lori, we can't hear you. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Nice. Hi, Lauren.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
There's Bethany.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Are you enjoying your first few days of summer?
Yeah, it's been really nice so far.
Good.
Yeah.
What you doing? Are you working this summer?
I'm actually leaving for my study abroad in 2 weeks. So
You've probably told me this 10 times already. Tell me again where you're going.
I'm going a week early with my dad, and we're going to go to Ireland to visit some family. And then from there, I'm going to Germany, France, and London.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
You should be.
So I'm just kind of getting prepped for that, and I've been going out and like getting everything I need. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Have you been to Europe before?
I haven't. So this is going to be my first time.
Oh, what a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. We get to do some really cool things, so that'll be really fun.
Are you looking at political science stuff?
Yeah, so I'm studying history while I'm there, so I'm going to be going to do some really cool things. We actually get to go into the trenches from World War I, and we get to see Churchill's War Room, and we get to go to like a bunch of art museums, because we're also looking at like the arts and humanities side of like the history portion. So I'm just really excited to do all of it, which will be
that sounds like an amazing trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
Are you on Instagram?
I am.
Okay, so I can follow you there.
You can.
Good.
I'll be posting a bunch of stuff, so
Good.
No stress. You'll see it all.
Good.
Do I have too much background noise? I can go in our break room.
No, you're good.
Hi, you.
Hi.
All right.
Okay. You can't hear the music or anything?
No, but there's a cool light bulb hanging behind you.
There is. There's some really cool lights in this place.
So it looks like we have Kara and Kristen on.
Hi, Kara.
Hi.
Welcome.
Abdullah's joining.
Yeah. I don't know how to turn on my video. I'm trying.
It's at the bottom.
Here we go. I think. Yeah, we're good.
Look, with an equation behind his head. Nice.
There's some calc too.
I'm in awe. You can look at a thing and say that's Calc 2.
I'm just gonna be watching that soccer game behind Bethany's head. Bethany, you're going full screen.
This would be like AOP many years ago when you had your little phone going and you watched the World Cup.
That's exactly.
I'm having a moment here. I'm having a moment. So good to have you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be in East Lansing when it's sunny out.
And it's quiet and not a lot of cars and students.
Yeah.
Kara, you're just going to get first-class treatment here if no one else joins. You're going to have 7 people.
No, we've got additional people. We have Kristen and Maddie, it looks like.
I didn't think I was the only student.
Is my mic?
I can see you now, Maddie. Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
Hi, Maddie.
My mouse looks huge.
The good thing about this is that we are gonna record. So students who are not able to join us live today are going to be able to watch a recording.
Bethany, we should turn our screen so you can see we have, did we lose Bethany? Bethany, are you there?
Bethany's still there.
I can't
Just
see her on my
muted.
screen.
Um,
How do I get more people on my screen?
I'm
you need
here.
to
Just scroll.
go to speaker
There we
view at
go.
the very top. You can
Oh,
change
go
it
like a
to,
little gallery
change it
view.
to gallery view.
Oh, look at there you go.
Hello, everyone.
Bethany, we've got easy chairs in our office now. We took out desks. It's really good.
All in the
it's-
past like 12 hours? I was just there.
Oh, you missed it. We just did it this morning. It's
Oh
so
my goodness.
much more homey here. Alex can testify, right, Alex? Oh, Alex, you're muted. Unmute your mute. There we go.
Yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah.
nice.
We stole chairs out of the commons and put them in and took desks out, and it's spacious and homey now.
Whatever. Cool. Yeah, if at any point the background noise is too much in here, just let me know and I can move.
I think as long as you keep yourself muted while you're not talking, I think it's fine. So that can.
That's what I will do.
So in just a second, I'm going to share my screen, and it will our speakers, our presentation will pop up on the side, and then you all will be able to hopefully see that. And then
Maddie, you don't know, but Abdullah's a big cat lover. Who's this?
This is
We
Kiki.
got a cat. Where's a cat?
You missed it. Maddie, bring her back. Look.
Oh, that's a nice one.
oh,
What's her name, Maddie?
Kiki.
Kiki.
Kiki. That's a cat name. I can appreciate it.
Oh gosh, I'm putting everywhere.
Nice, nice.
all right. How are we all doing? Are we ready?
We're ready. I am.
So I just to get started here, we are using Zoom for the first time to run our AOP virtual prep workshop. So if we have a few hiccups, we apologize in advance for that. We are going to be mostly staying on mute. So if students are watching and any of our co-presenters when you're not speaking, but if you do have a question that you'd like to ask, I mean, there's such a small group today, we can just all talk as you have questions, but you can also use the chat window at the side if you have a specific question about something someone is saying. Does everybody find the chat window? If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a little bubble and it'll open up a window probably on the side of your screen. And we may have more folks joining us as we go. So that will be awesome. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the presentation screen, and hopefully it all works the way we want to have it work. Okay, hold on. Okay, does everybody now see the presentation in the middle? Okay, sweet. So I am going to go through, and then the person whose slide that is will be the person talking. So those of you who are joining us as incoming first-year students, welcome to our virtual AOP Prep Workshop. We are going to introduce ourselves in the next slide, but we're excited that you all are here. And in a second, after we introduce ourselves, we'd love to hear who each of you are as well. So Lori, I'm going to turn it over to you for introductions.
Hi, all. I am Lori Thorpe. I'm the director of the RISE program. Been here since 2002. yeah, there I am with a bunch of cute little piggies and a former student. And I don't know what else to share with you at this great moment in time. I want to hear more about who you are and who's joining us out in the Zoom world. So I'm not going to talk a lot right now. Heather, you want to introduce yourself? And
Sure.
Abdullah, and I know Lauren and Alex, all of these people are here. Go ahead and talk about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Shea, Assistant Director. I also am an animal lover. This is my puppy who no longer looks like this, but she's now a big dog. She still acts like a puppy. Her name is Lucy. So I'm glad to be here today. And Abdullah, your turn.
Yo, my name is Abdullah Muhammad. I'm technically like a 5th year senior now. That's kind of weird. I haven't said that yet, but I should have just graduated this past May. But I got one more semester, so I get to hang out with you guys in the fall and hopefully be in the office a little more. And I've been doing stuff with Rise since the beginning, so for 4 years now. I've tutored. I've done some research involving the program along with Alex. And yeah, I do a bunch of things. I got a cat. Her name is Giggles. She's in that picture. That was my Christmas card this year. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. So yeah.
Cool. Lauren?
Hi guys, my name is Lauren Lahi. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I'm studying public policy in the College of Social Science. I guess like something pretty cool. I'm going to be your TA, and I'm also a mentor for next year, so I'll be around a lot. I'm living on the 3rd floor of Bailey, so I'll see you guys all a lot, which will be fun.
Cool. I'm Alex Marks. I'm a junior, I guess. I do a lot of stuff with Rise. The picture there is like me holding some bees. I help with the bee team. I'm also co-CEO of a new business called Land Grant Goods with Bethany. And that deals with the tea and a lot of the stuff we grow in the greenhouse, and that's fun. I did research on compost with Abdullah, work with the worms, a little bit of everything. I'm going to be the 2nd floor RA for the bee wing. And yeah, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Bethany.
Hello. My name is Bethany. I am a senior studying elementary education and getting the environmental studies minor. I manage the greenhouse with a couple other students, as well as I am Alex's co-CEO and co-founder of Land Grant Goods. I've also been the Rise RA for the past 2 years, so if you have any live-on questions, feel free to throw them my way. And I will be living in University Village next year, so I won't be in the building, but I'll still be around.
Mia.
Hi, I'm Nana. I'm gonna be a freshman joining Rise this year. I'm planning a major in human biology, and I'm just excited.
Great. Welcome. Mia, are you there? Oh, I think we skipped Mia.
We did.
Mia, are you still there? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Mia.
Hello.
Not Nana. We're saying Mia.
Oh, Mia. Okay, I thought so, and I just
No problem. Mia?
That computer might not have a microphone. You might have to plug a pair of headphones into it.
Okay. Let me go take my headphones over to her, and I'll be right back. Lori, do you want to go to the next? I'll go to the next slide and have folks introduce themselves.
You bet. We're going to go on one more. You want to move us one more slide, Heather? Gotcha. So now for our incoming students, we want you to unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us your name, where you're from, possible major, and maybe something unique about yourself.
Okay.
So that'd be Kara, and I've got to open up my screen here and see who we have with us. Maddie, Kristen, Stephanie, Natalie, all of you. We want to hear from you, so go ahead. Maddie, you want to start?
Sure. All right, I'm Maddie Dell. I'm a senior from the West. I'm planning on majoring in mechanical engineering, And something unique about me. I guess I'm more artistically inclined, but I really want to be an engineer.
Okay, we're going to test Mia's mic really quick. Can you all hear us?
We can.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sweet. No headphones for me.
Down just a tad.
Stephanie, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you hope to do? And you need to unmute, Stephanie. There you go.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Halliburton. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. My prospective major is English. I want to be an English educator. And something unique about me is I can't swim.
Ha.
Thanks for sharing. Who else do we have?
Natalie, you want to share something with us?
Hello, my name is Natalie Kagole, and I'm from Uganda. I'm going to major in biomedical laboratory science. I want to be a laboratory technician. And something unique about me is that I'm Ugandan.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's so fun to have you here. Kristen?
Hi, my name's Kristen. I'm the one you guys can't see. I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm from Livonia, Michigan. I plan on majoring in environmental or civil engineering. And I like photography, so that's unique, I guess.
Betcha. Who else haven't we heard from?
We can go back and have Mia introduce herself also.
Mia, and then I think Kara, we haven't heard from you either. Kara Headley, and then Mia, go ahead.
And then we need Nana's uniqueness.
Sorry, Nana.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kara. I'm from Macomb, Michigan. I'm not really sure what I'm majoring in, but right now I'm looking at English. And something unique, I teach a dance class at my studio. I'm at Rhythm Fusion Dance Company, and I teach, so that's fun.
Awesome.
Hi guys, I'm Mia. My contact picture has me in my graduation with a little panda. I always have her. She's even on my Instagram, so if you guys follow me, it's all her. I am a forestry and food science dual major with 3 minors currently.
Wow.
I might add to that, so.
And you're managing our greenhouse this summer.
That I am.
Yeah.
Super fun, a lot of plants.
Did we get everybody? Nana, we didn't hear from you.
Okay, my name's Nana. I'm from New Boston, Michigan. I want to major in human biology, and something unique about me is I play the alto saxophone.
Cool.
Lori and I have long talked about having a Rise talent show, so.
Absolutely. We still haven't done that.
I know.
It's got to happen. Welcome all. How fun to have you all here with us today. So, quick overview of what we want to cover in the next 45 minutes would be our main goal is we want you to go to AOP this summer feeling like you have, that you're in the driver's seat, that you know what's going to happen, that you have a pretty good idea of what that day and a half is going to look like, feel like, that you don't go into it unprepared, and that we're going to give you some things to think about today so that that AOP experience isn't quite so overwhelming. We know from many years of experience that AOP can be a lot of information overload, and a feeling of kind of being bewildered by the end of your day and a half here at MSU. And so we've been doing this pre-AOP workshop for about 3 years now. This is our 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
And we get really good feedback that this is helping our students go to AOP and not feel quite so overwhelmed and leave with a schedule that you really truly feel comfortable and confident with. So that's our primary goal today. We also want to give you an overview of the colleges here at Michigan State University. So a university is comprised of about 12 colleges. We're big, 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 and that can be overwhelming as well. And we know you're just finishing your senior year, and you probably haven't had a lot of time to research MSU and understand what the different colleges are like. And our secondary goal is that you go to AOP through the college that best aligns with who you are and what your interests are. And so we've got a really nice representation here today with all of these current RISE students that come from multiple colleges and multiple majors that will help you kind of make sure that if you're telling us you think you want to be an engineer, that you really are a good fit for that college. And if not, what other colleges might you want to be thinking about? Because contrary to popular myth, you don't need to know what you want to do right now, and you don't need to know what you're going to major in. But what we would like to have happen is that you at least go through AOP via the college that feels like it's the best fit for your skills and your interests. We're then going to spend a little bit of time talking about this kind of interesting transition that you're going to be going through. You're going to be leaving home, you're going to be leaving your parents, and you're going to be becoming a much more of an independent person next year. And so Heather is a doc student in the College of Education and is really an expert on some of these key transition issues and this concept we call self-authorship, where you're going to start to become an independent person, separate from your parents, and to start kind of shaping who you are on your own. And so we want to talk a little bit about that, because that often overlays with your experience at AOP and your first year here, where you start to kind of cut those strings and those ties to mom and dad and what they think you ought to do with your life versus who you really are and what you want to do. Then we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about where you can go in the next couple weeks to look at the majors and look at the colleges. And we're not going to spend any time in this session, but we'll give you some resources for you to start to think about for your planning.
All right. Moving on to the next slide. Lori, before I move on, can you move your screen just a tad so we can see your whole face? There we go. And maybe tilt it down just a little. There we go. Perfect. Way better.
I can't see myself. I've got people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to make sure you're prepared for AOP. Do you all have your AOP dates? Yes, nod yes. Yep, you've got your AOP dates. Good. Am I seeing that from everybody? You've signed up, you've got your AOP deposit in. Yes, from everybody. Excellent. And we already talked about this. We're going to make sure that you feel comfortable with your college, potentially that you're looking at a major that feels right for you, and then how to prepare that schedule and at least find the resources to start looking at what schedule you want to prepare when you get to AOP. You will leave AOP with a full year's schedule. I think we can skip that slide and go right on. So you're going to arrive at Michigan State, you're going to check into Case Hall, and when you get there, you're going to receive a printed schedule for your entire time at AOP. One of the things that you're going to want to look at when you get that printed schedule is that there probably will be some courses on there that you have been pre-enrolled in. Don't be surprised if some of those classes are classes that you might have already taken AP credit for, or that you don't necessarily think apply to you anymore. Right now, the registrar is preparing every incoming student with a prepared schedule. You will have plenty of opportunity at AOP to change that. And once in a while, you may get this printout and it might not even have courses on it. The main thing we want to make sure that you look for when you get that is that you should be pre-enrolled in the RISE Freshman Seminar, which is NSC 192. If it's not on there, don't panic. Just make sure that when you sit down with your major advisor you tell them that you're in RISE and that you need them to enroll you or add NSC 192 to your schedule. We've already sent your name and your PIDs to the registrar, so they will be pre-enrolling you, but every once in a while, it's a big university, it's a big system. Sometimes things don't happen, but make sure you get that. That's the course that meets once a week throughout the fall semester. It's a really important course where you get to know your entire RISE cohort, and we do a lot in that class to help you adjust to being here at MSU. You're going to have a one-on-one session while you're at AOP, and that will be on this printed schedule where you will meet with a college advisor to talk about your major courses. More than likely, you'll be pre-enrolled in what's called WRA. You'll be pre-enrolled more than likely in an integrative studies course, and more than likely you'll be enrolled in a math course based on your math placement exam. And a little bit later in the session, Abdullah is going to talk to you about the math placement scores. Make sure, if you haven't done it yet, that you take the online math placement exam. That's really important so that that course is on your schedule when you arrive at AOP. Note that also the schedule that you make at AOP, when you leave, your schedule is locked and nobody can change it. So that's why we do this session with you today and why we prep you for that, so that you can go online and start looking at some of the courses, so you can email us or talk to your mentor about courses, so that you go in prepared to kind of make that list of, if your advisor is going to help you make that schedule, but we want you to have advanced knowledge of some of the things that you're going to see that might appear on your schedule, because once you leave, we can't change it until August 28th. And so we really want to, and that at that point in time, often what we see is many of the courses are full here at MSU, and it makes it pretty challenging to change your schedule that first week that you're back, that you're here in August. So we want to make every effort to make sure that your schedule is what you want it to be when you leave AOP. Know that it's not uncommon to feel overloaded. It's not uncommon to feel overloaded in the first couple hours that you're there. Know that that is completely normal, and that we are here all summer long. I'll be here in the office along with Heather and Abdullah and Alex and Bethany, and so that if you are at AOP and you're feeling overloaded, feel free to call us or email us. You can even text us and say, whoa, I'm in the middle of my advising and I'm feeling overwhelmed. We can either run over there and chat with you, or we can talk to you via email or text or phone and help relieve some of that stress. Just know that you're not alone and that it's really common to feel overloaded. Our best advice is to prepare you prior to getting there and have you get on and start looking at your major and start looking at possible courses so that you can ask those questions before you get into AOP. So bullet number 2, the more you know about these majors and colleges, the better. We highly, highly encourage you, once you walk across that stage from high school and you have a little bit of free time before AOP, get onto the MSU website, go to the links that we're going to send you. That's the academic programs catalog, as well as the various college websites, and read a little bit more about your colleges that you're thinking about going into, so that you know in advance a little bit more about the schedule that you're going to build. And then if you have questions, feel free to contact us before AOP or ask questions today. That's why we've got all these great students here to talk to you. We also really encourage you to be reflective in the next few weeks and think more about yourself and your skills. And when we say skills, I want you to be reflective about, are you strong in the sciences? So are you strong in chemistry and math? Or are you more strong in writing and education and working with people? Sort of do a self-assessment about your past 4 years in high school and think about what your strengths are and where your skills lie, because that's where we want to, the more information you can give us about that self-assessment of your skills, the better we're going to be able to advise you into the right major for you here at MSU. MSU is such a big university. I promise you, there's a home for you here somewhere. And the more you can tell us about who you are and your passion as well as your skills, the better we're going to be able to get you into the right college and the right major faster. That way you're not wasting time and money in colleges and majors that are not a good fit for you.
Great. So next in our session today, we're going to spend a little bit of time previewing several colleges, and we're going to be passing this around a little bit. So, and these are not necessarily the order in which we will preview them, but so you know, we have 7 affiliated colleges with RISE. They're not all necessarily listed here. But before we get into colleges, we're going to talk a little bit about restricted enrollment colleges. So Abdullah, you're going to talk about this, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So Michigan State's nice in the fact that you don't have restricted enrollment on every major, but then again, there are a couple different instances. So the most rigorous one is the College of Business, I think. A lot of people, our business school is pretty, great. And for that reason, a lot of people don't end up getting in. So that's kind of a tough one to get into. So if you're looking to go into business, make sure you're prepared for that. They used to do it where you had to apply to the business college, and I believe they just changed it so you apply to the major. So you're going to be in the business college and you apply to be a certain major like supply chain or finance. Also, education is a restricted enrollment college. I know Bethany can speak on that a little more. I'm not sure how rigorous that is. Although there are some loopholes I know about that she can talk about too, if you want to go ahead, Bethany.
Yeah, so there are a couple loopholes into the College of Education. So if you join one of the cohort programs, it's an application to get into one of them. But once you get into the cohort, then you are automatically into the college as long as you keep your GPA at a certain requirement. Other than that, it is decently competitive. There is like a essay application that you have to complete, and then there's also some scores that you have to meet. Some of your SAT scores will meet the criteria for those scores, but if they don't, then you're required to take like a pre-certification type test to see if your scores meet the requirements to continue on to be a teacher. So if you have questions about the College of Education specifically, feel free to email me, or we can talk once everyone hangs up or something along those lines. Just let me know and I can help you out. But they will talk about the cohorts at AOP. So there's 2 of them, so just feel free to research them before you go. And if you're interested in one, I highly recommend joining.
Yeah. And then just to go back, the final one's the College of Engineering. I'm an engineer. I don't think I ever mentioned that. I'm a chemical engineer. I have 2 minors also in environmental and sustainability studies and entrepreneurship and innovation. But the College of Engineering is a restricted enrollment college, but you don't need to apply to the college. As long as you fit the requirements, you're automatically going to be accepted into the college. So that's not something to worry about. And then there's a minimum GPA, I believe, for mechanical engineers, it's 3.0. And then for everyone else, I believe it's a 2.8. And once you just fulfill all the requirements, you're automatically in the college. So I know for some people that's after their freshman year. And I think it was after my first semester of my sophomore year where I was accepted into it. So I wouldn't worry about that too much if you're trying to be an engineer.
But Abdullah, to be clear, so because I think we've got 3 students here on board with us today that are talking about engineering, they're going to have a set of courses that they have to complete at a minimum GPA in order to be fully admitted into their engineering major, correct?
Yeah, so you're going to have 2 different GPAs. You're going to have a total GPA that includes all of your courses, and that'll count with the WRAs and the university requirements and electives, and then you'll have a technical GPA. And so that minimum GPA applies towards the technical GPA. And if you don't have that minimum GPA, I think it might be a little tougher to get in just because it is restricted enrollment. And I know there's still ways to get in if you don't have that, but then it involves a whole applying process.
Okay. And it's safe to assume that our engineers will have those courses put on their first year schedule by their engineering advisor at AOP, correct?
Yeah, if you know you want to be an engineer, or if you're just a College of Engineering undecided, major, like if you don't know your major but you know you're in the College of Engineering, these prereqs apply for any engineering degree, so you will have those on your schedule regardless.
Great.
All right.
So,
moving on to colleges. Lori, I think you're going to talk about the first one, right?
sure. So College of Natural Science would be, I believe we had someone tell me that they were thinking about human bio. Is that right? Hi, Nana. Great. So what we want you to think about, and anyone else, if I missed you, if you're thinking about College of Natural Science is what I like to say, did it get put on this one? My famous phrase, all science all the time. So natural science is a college that is going to prepare you, like the name, to become a basic scientist. And you need to really feel confident and comfortable with chemistry, mathematics, physics, some bio. You should be aware that you're going to be doing science every single year that you're here, that it's a pretty competitive cohort. About half of our majors that are in, by majors I mean students that are in the College of Natural Science are med school bound. So it's a competitive cohort. You're going to need to feel confident and comfortable with doing research, with analyzing data, with a scientific method. For most of our majors, it's not a terminal degree. You're going to go on to grad school, or you're going to go on to a professional school like dentistry or med school. And so for Nat Sci, this is what we want you to start thinking about, is doing some self-assessment and say, yep, I did well in physics in high school. Yeah, I've already taken Calc 1. I'm pretty comfortable and confident with chemistry. And I'm prepared that for the next 4 years, I'm going to be taking increasingly higher and higher levels of those basic science courses, along with then advanced science courses. There's very little elective credit in any of the majors in the College of Natural Science. And so we just want you to be aware that this is all science all the time, and that it's for people that are science geeks, to be honest. And so if you don't feel like that's the right fit for you, and that you like science, but you're not sure about science all the time, there are other colleges that give a nice blending of social science, education, and then some of the basic science, like the College of Ag and Nat Resources. So that's why we're exposing you to all of the colleges today, so you can kind of say, yeah, that sounds like me, or maybe not. I love animals, but I don't see myself wanting to take 2 years of calculus and 2 years of chemistry and 2 years of physics, and then advanced courses in those divisions. So that's College of Natural Science in a nutshell.
All right, moving on to the College of Communication Arts and Sciences. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So on the screen, you can see some of the things you might consider if you are somebody who enjoys writing and is good at writing. You might consider a major. There are actually only 4 majors in the College of Communication Arts and Sciences: communication, advertising, journalism, and media and information. All of those majors have similarities, and one of them has to do with short deadlines. And I think it also has a lot to do with, obviously, communication. And communication arts and sciences has to do with communicating, presenting, engaging with people through writing or media. The media and information degree in particular is partially about game design. It's partially about video. So if those are things that you might be interested in learning more about, they also have several minors. And communication arts and sciences in the advertising area is obviously working with companies. So sometimes people pair a minor in one of these areas with a major in business or a major in engineering. Those can be complementary. So that's a little bit about the communication arts and sciences. College of Engineering, Abdullah?
Cool, cool. All right. So, like I mentioned before, it is a restricted enrollment college. Fairly easy to get in as long as you fit the requirements. I can personally just say I don't know anyone who hasn't gotten in, as opposed to the many, many number of people I know who haven't gotten into the College of Business. So, me being a whatever fifth year extra semester senior, I've already taken all of my engineering classes, and in the fall I just have other classes to fit other requirements. But I can just say without a doubt, just from my own experience and from talking to the other engineers, that differential equations is huge. It's something that I use all the time, and if you're not familiar with that, that's Calc 4. You're going to take a lot of calc. Your first 2 years, you'll probably have calc every semester, just 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that being said, if you're not placed in Calc 1 just based on your math placement exam, it's going to kind of be an uphill battle. I know a lot of people who were placed just under Calc 1 and still made it out all right, just because they knew that they were engineers and they took the time, taking summer classes and stuff to catch up. But just something to think about. If you're placed in like a 124 or math 116, maybe engineering might not be the right thing for you, just because it is a lot of technical work, a lot of math, like a ton of math, and a lot of you kind of interpreting situations and solving problems that way. So a lot of engineering is open-ended. So I just finished like six design projects, and there was no answer to any of them. You just had to come up with an answer. And so like everyone in the class would have different things and they'd all be correct, but they'd all be a little more correct than the others. And to some people, that's just not a good way of doing things. Not really knowing a finite answer is a problem for people. And it's weird because engineering has no finite answers. So you're going to continuously be doing different things and doing them a different way. And if you have trouble with that, it's going to be a rough 4 years.
College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Mia, you're going to start us off, and Alex, share your thoughts as well.
Sweet. So the College of Ag and Nat Resource is pretty laid back and chill, in my opinion. It's not like natural sciences or engineering, but it is very applied. So the science classes that you do take, you'll know how to do that thing by the time you're done. Like, especially with the forestry classes, they teach you what you need, and you just couple that with a little bit more, and you can go out and do it. And it's a huge college. Like I said, it's from packaging to animal science, so it encompasses a lot of different majors. Like both my majors, forestry and food science, are in the College of Ag and Nat Resources. Alex?
Yeah. Like Mia was saying, it kind of takes a lot of the stuff from natural science and applies it to the real world. So these researchers are doing research on a variety of things, and then they go to Africa and help with malaria, or they help solve food system problems all around the world. So it kind of encompasses a variety of a lot of real world large problems, and kind of takes more of a comprehensive speaking approach than just more like analytical. It like involves community engagement and kind of working with people on a variety of different scales. And there's like fisheries and wildlife. My major is environmental studies and sustainability, which is in another program called community sustainability. And there's just a lot of variety and a lot of options to take your own twist. We also have a lot of elective credits, so it's really customizable, and you can kind of choose what you want to do and how you want to take the major.
Nice.
Great. All right, social science. Lauren.
All right. So I love the College of Social Science. It's awesome. Everyone should join. But there's a lot of really diverse majors, so there's really something for everyone. I know for me, when I first came in, I didn't really know what area of social science I really wanted to do. So one of the requirements is that you take introductory classes from 3 different areas of social science. So I got to really explore what area piqued my interest, which was really nice being able to come in and already have people willing to like sit around and help you with that stuff, which is really cool. I'm not really a math person, so I was really excited because I don't have to take calc, I don't have to take anything like that. All I had to do was take a stat class. So that was really good because it's actually come in handy like in a few of my other classes when you're looking at like graphs and things, and being able to analyze and interpret data is something that you do, but it's not necessarily like the focus of a lot of the stuff that you actually have to do in your courses, which is really nice. Like it says on here, being good with people isn't a strong enough reason to choose this college. I really do like people, but there's a lot of like people that think College of Social Science is for them, and it just ends up not being. I don't know. For me personally, I think being a part of this college is good because it's a very much like an everyone love everyone feel. So when you're there, you don't have people that are feeding you wrong answers. You don't have people that are like being cutthroat about things. It's very much like the people in College of Social Science just like genuinely like people, if that makes sense. So it's just a nice like group of people you'll be surrounded by. I know for me personally, right now I'm majoring in public policy because I'm thinking about becoming an environmental lobbyist in the future because it's a good way to combine all my interests. And that's one of the best things about social science. It's that like no matter what you want to do in the future, it can really help complement things. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people choose to minor in different like areas of social science. And again, most people from social science go on for a higher degree of some sort. So you don't normally go and just like get one major and then stick there, but some people can. It really just depends on what you're kind of going for with it. So you really have to like do certain things in your time while you're at college to make yourself marketable if you choose not to go on to another degree, which is nice with social science because there's so many opportunities for that. So yeah.
Thanks, Lauren. So College of Arts and Letters, if you are interested in design, creative, performing, expression, this might be the college for you. Similar to ComArts in some ways, the College of Arts and Letters, maybe more of a arts and humanities types of college. So people who are artists, designers, linguists, poets, philosophers, translators, writers, are all kind of things that, people might aspire to be as a result of a degree in the College of Arts and Letters. So there are teaching minors available for many of the subjects as well. And as it says on the screen, there are foreign language requirements. This is where you find the foreign languages. So if you want to add a minor or major in a foreign language, look to the College of Arts and Letters. We have several students who add professional writing degrees, it seems like, or minors in professional writing connected to their major because they really enjoy writing, and that's going to be a part of their long-term career plan. And again, I think similar to what Lauren just talked about, challenging students' worldview, encouraging them to think outside their comfort zones. Those are some of the shared goals of the faculty and students, and I would say the college as a whole. So that is the College of Arts and Letters. Bethany, do you want to talk about the College of Education?
Sure. How can I don't know. Okay, we're good. So the College of Education, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's two different approaches that you can do for the College of Ed. The first is an elementary degree program, where your major would be in elementary education, then you would pick a teaching area. And then the second option is to go secondary ed, and if that's the case, then your major would be the subject area that you want to teach, and then you would have a minor in educational studies. So in both of these areas, it's a little difficult to really see the connections between the environmental studies that you're doing in RISE and connecting them to the educational studies that you're learning about. But you have to just be able to be creative and think about how you want to do it in an innovative way. A lot of the classes that you're going to take are socially justice minded. So you will, as Heather and Lauren were saying, you'll be challenged to jump out of your comfort zone and to really question your values and think about what you believe in. And then other than that, it is a restricted enrollment college. So as I mentioned earlier, there are some small loopholes around that, but when it comes down to it, you may have to have certain test scores or write an essay with an application to get into the College of Ed.
Lori, overview in general.
So we just threw a lot at you. A bunch of colleges and not even all of them yet at MSU. And so I'm going to go back and encourage you to, in the next couple weeks, self-assess, get onto the MSU website and look at these college pages. It's easy. Just go into the MSU homepage, type in the name of the college. It will come up. Get in there, explore, read around. They all have stories about students on there. They have bios of their faculty. They have projects that are going on in those colleges. I really encourage you to get in there and look at the colleges and start at the college level and see, does this college sound like the people that I want to hang out with, the things that I want to read about, the things that I want to do with my life, the things that make me want to get out of bed in the morning. Then you're going to drill down and you're going to start to look at majors within those colleges. And the best way to do that is for you to go to this hyperlink that Heather's going to send you afterwards. It's very easy. Again, go to the MSU homepage, type in academic programs, just those 2 words, and it will come up. And you're going to see over here on the right-hand side, undergraduate degrees. You're going to want to click on that, undergraduate degrees, and you're going to have a one-stop shopping guide to every single major that we offer here at MSU. And I really encourage you again then now to go and look at, scroll down and just see the number of majors that are available to you here at MSU before you start to narrow your pathway and say, I know that I want to be an interior decorator, designer. I know I want to major in crop and soil sciences. Take a breath, ignore what people are telling you, get in there and look at all of the things that MSU offers. So for example, will you scroll back up? Yep. So let's just say I want to be an animal scientist, or I'm interested in, what does that mean to study animal science at MSU? You're going to click on that and it is going to show you all of the courses that you will take your 4 years here at MSU. It's going to have a little narrative here that you should also read, and then look at the coursework and say to yourself, I have to take genetics. I take anatomy and physiology. I take 2 semesters of bio. I take a course called Principles of Animal Feeding and Nutrition. I then take 1 course in stats. I take a little bit more chem. And then I have to pick, do I want to study beef or dairy or horse or sheep or swine or companion animals? This doesn't sound like me. I'm more interested in wildlife. I wonder where I would get courses that are geared more towards someone that wants to study rattlesnakes and salamanders. Well, maybe I go to fisheries and wildlife. Let's click on fisheries and wildlife and see if that gets me closer to what I want to study. So you get the picture. I really encourage you all to not just assume that you know already what your major is. Get into this website, shop around, look at all of the majors. It's so easy to do. Spend an hour over the next few weeks and look at as many majors as are of interest to you. Oh, look, they have a course in wildlife experience, blah, blah, blah. Conservation bio, I'm going to study some ecology and some evolution. I'm going to look at forests. This sounds more like the way I want to study animals, right? So I want you to have that before you get to AOP, because to do this kind of drilling down into the majors when you're at AOP is way too stressful. There's too many people. They're moving you along. They're going to make you pick some courses. They're going to get on your schedule, and then they're going to get locked in. And that's just not the way to go through AOP. So please promise me that you'll go into this academic programs catalog and do some shopping. When you've got lots of time and you've got us here, you can send us messages and we can help you. I can connect you with other students that are in that major, and you can go into AOP with a much more broader understanding of who MSU, the majors that MSU has to offer, and what people are in the colleges that you're starting to look at, okay? Also know that a major, one more point, that top bullet point is critically important. You're not going to be hired because your diploma says you got a bachelor's of science in zoology. you're going to be hired because of your skills. And so one of the things, and you're going to hear this from us multiple times throughout the fall semester, it's all about building skills and your skill base through your coursework that are going to get you to where you want to go. It's not about saying, I am going to major in zoology because I want to be a zoologist. We want you to start thinking more about what courses do you want to take that are going to get you the skills that you need in order to do what it is you're passionate about. So start to kind of separate that notion that your major is tied to the job that you want. People are not going to hire you because your diploma reads that you've got XYZ degree. It's much more about all the co-curricular things that you do here. It's about the research that you do here. It's about the skills that you gain through these various classes that's going to get you where you want to go.
All right.
And one other thing that you're going to want to think about while you're at AOP is your advisor is going to not let you leave your advising session without at least 3 additional elective courses. And that might be done in a very arbitrary fashion. And what we want to encourage you to think about is also back on that academic programs catalog. Can we go backwards to that real quick? There's a place where you can look at all the minors that are available at MSU. And our smart students, I think, who was it, Mia? You said you've got 3 minors going right now. Don't just take elective courses and get them put on your schedule to be fillers. Don't do that. You want to be, it's way too expensive. It's too much time. You want to be smart with your elective courses, and you want to aggregate those electives into a minor. There are so many minors, as you can see, Heather, scrolling down there, that you can pursue while you're here at MSU. So think about taking those elective credits and putting them together. Typically, minors are about 12 to 15 credits. Really easy to do. One of the minors that, of course, we're going to promote, and that's going to be a very easy minor for you to earn, is the minor in environmental and sustainability studies. And so one of the things that we want you to start to think about is, how might I complement my major with a minor that will give me some specialized knowledge? And in this case, your specialized knowledge is around sustainability, and a lot of companies and businesses and grad schools want to see that you have an understanding around, how do we make this planet sustainable and resilient? And what are those skills that you can gain by earning this minor that broadens you? Your major is deep, so think up and down and lots of depth in your knowledge, and a minor kind of cuts across and broadens you. So you might have a major that is in the College of Nat Sci where you're all science all the time, and then this minor will give you some social science skills and some education skills and that you might not normally get in your major. And so kind of think about that as a T, that you want depth and you want breadth, and you want to use your elective courses to do something for you, and the way you do that is through a minor. So also in your free time, get on to the academic programs catalog and look at all the minors that are available here at MSU.
Great. So now we're going to transition into a quick kind of segue. As you're thinking about all of this, we want you to also think about how you go about making these choices on your own. We recognize that coming out of high school, if that's where you're at, your parents have likely been really involved in your life, which is fabulous. We love our parents. And we know that this is a process, right? So this doesn't just happen overnight. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a theory of development, and then Bethany is going to talk a little bit about FERPA and protecting your privacy. So Marcia Baxter McGolda developed this model. She talks about development existing in 4 distinct phases. And you'll see down the side, cognitive, intrapersonal, and interpersonal. I'm just going to summarize each of these 4 really quickly, the 4 being across the top. The first is following formulas. So this is where you believe that your beliefs are determined by some authority, and that might be a parent, that might be somebody else in your life. And the emphasis is on seeking approval in those relationships and doing what might make that other person happy, but may not be in your best interest or may not be what you would choose. The second phase is crossroads, where you wonder if some of the things that you believe now are the things that you really believe. And you might start to feel like a sense of dissonance compared to what you've been taught or what your parents have said you are. So at this point, it's about kind of a need for authenticity. The third phase is becoming an author of one's life. And this is the phase where you choose your beliefs, you choose your values, and you choose an identity that feels real to you. And in relationships, you look at ways for both individuals' needs to be met, so mutual needs. And then finally, the internal foundation is a place where you feel comfortable, grounded in your own identity and your own belief system. And you also not only know what you believe in, but what you don't believe in. And that you're saying it because you believe it, not because somebody else has said that they want you to say it. So when we talk about, and I say belief, that could span lots of different things. It could be about what you see yourself becoming as terms of your career. This could also have to do with identity development. This could also have to do with religious background. All of those things are part of the self-authorship conversation. So, and that leads us into talking about FERPA. Bethany? Oh, you're still on mute.
Muted.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Oh, I keep not being able to see the screen from different people's pictures. So FERPA is the protection policy that is a federal policy that protects students. It is sort of like HIPAA for the medical field, but for your education. So it's the Federal Family Education Rights and Privacies Act is what it stands for. And it pretty much gives students the protection over their educational records. So once you turn 18, those records are for your eyes only. So FERPA pretty much protects the university from being able to give those records to anybody out and about, including your own parents. So you do have the option to sign a document that pretty much allows the university to release those when they find necessary, which is not very often. But other than that, all information is protected by FERPA unless it is considered directory information. And those directory information things are available to be seen online. There's a list of them. They include like your home address, your phone number, where you're living on campus, what you're studying, what year of school you're in. Those are the few that I can think of off the top of my head. They're pretty invasive, and I would recommend putting that protection privacy on those as well, which we can show you once you get to Michigan State. And I'm sure your RA will have like a security workshop with you to show you how to protect yourself from your directory information. Beautiful. So your educational records, for example, your grades, your enrollment records, your schedules, your class list, your ethnicity, and your social security number, that can be confidential, and it should be confidential, and the university protects those pieces of information from you. As for your parents, a lot of parents will want to see what your grades are and how you're doing in your classes, and you don't necessarily have to do so. So there is a way on your Stu Info account where you'll pay your bills and you'll see all of your grades and see your financial aid allotments and that sort of information. You can allow your parents to have guest access, and you decide what they get to see. So if you want your parents to only have access to being able to pay bills, and you don't want them to see your grades, then that's completely possible. And that is all done on your Stu Info account. As you move forward, trying to have conversations with your parents about things that may be covered under FERPA, please just keep in mind that actions will take place if you as the student voice your concerns to the university. So since the university is covered under FERPA, and say your parents contact someone at the university requesting information, they will have to go back through you in order to get the permission to release that information. So say, for example, your parents contact someone at the service center desk at the residence hall, and they want to know how you're doing as a student. The person at the service center will be like, I can't confirm or deny that that student lives here. And then everything kind of will turn around into a big circle. And it's like, if that student lives here, then like we'll have someone try to contact them, but like they can't make any promises to your parent due to FERPA. So just know that it's really important, as Heather was mentioning about self-authorship, that you're taking control of situations that you're a part of, and that you're aware of your rights as a student and the protection that takes place, and that you kind of are making sure the access that you want to be granted to the university and to your parents is what you really want. So.
Great. Lori?
So, I don't want to keep pouring too much information into your heads today. One of the things that you're going to be looking at when you get to AOP is they're going to be talking about Gen Ed. That's a term meaning general education, or the university requirements. And when you build your schedule, you're going to want to think about it like a big funnel, and that at the top of the funnel are these university requirements that all students at MSU have in common. Doesn't matter what college you're in, but you're going to be required to take what you see on the screen here. You're going to need to take the first year writing course, which is called WRA. You're going to need to take 2 social science courses. Not your first year. You're going to probably very likely have one of those social science courses on your schedule. Very likely you'll have your WRA on your schedule. Very unlikely that you'll have any IAH on your schedule. That typically comes later. And then depending on what college, this is a little bit college specific, you'll either have an ISB, an ISP, or some science related course that's going to substitute for the ISB or ISP requirement. Just know that very likely you're going to see the WRA, and then we're going to talk about math on the next slide, I believe. You'll also have a math. So those are pretty typical for a first year schedule, that you'll see the WRA, an ISS, and a math course, because those are all what we call Gen Ed or university requirements. Every college mandates that you have those. Actually, it's the university mandates. And then you'll start to fill in with some college level requirements. And then last but not least, hopefully you'll get a couple courses on that are 100 or 200 level courses for your major. And that's kind of how your advising will go when you sit down for that one-on-one session.
Abdullah.
Cool. So math placement exam, you guys have probably gotten an email, I think, by now about it. So basically how you score on this exam will determine what math class you have to take. If you have a certain score on your ACT or SAT, you're going to be able to test in. I think the only one you can test into is like Calc 1, and in that case you wouldn't have to take the placement exam at all. But so you can take this exam on your own, like over the summer on your computer. And I mean, you are kind of doing it at home, so you do have like the internet as a resource, but also just keep in mind, if you're in pre-calc right now in high school and you test into Calc 1, or if you test into some crazy class, it might not be the greatest thing for you. So I just encourage that you take it honestly and really assess what your math skills are if you do have to take it. Also, so for instance, let's say you're in the College of Social Science and you test into like a Calc 1, then you're all good. Then you don't have to take any math classes while at Michigan State potentially. So there are pros and cons to it, and just do your best on it. You also have the opportunity to take it again a couple times, I think. So you can take it at AOP as well if you want to retake it, just to get into like a better math class if you took it at home and you weren't satisfied. So yeah.
Great.
But we do highly recommend that you do it online before AOP rather than at AOP. That's just not the ideal situation, because you're rushed, you've got a tight schedule already, you have to go to a different building and take it in a proctored room. You're just better off taking it online. and I want to underscore what Abdullah said, is that you want to take it honestly, because the worst thing to happen for you is to get a score that doesn't really reflect your math skills, and then to get into a math course here and struggle and bring your GPA down your first year here because of a math placement score that doesn't adequately reflect. And you can also tell your advisor while you're at AOP, if it looks like you're placed into Calc 1 or Survey and you feel like you would rather not go to that level of mathematics right out of the chute into MSU, they can dial it back and put you into a lower level math course. Remember that your coursework here is way different. So calculus here is way different than calculus at your high school. No matter what level high school you went to, it's just a lot more rigorous. And so the goal is we want you in courses where you feel confident and comfortable, not stressed and strained.
So going into AP credits, I'm sure a bunch of you took a bunch of AP classes and you're looking to get credit for them. So they are fairly simple. There are two different ways that you might get quote unquote credit for a course. So like if you take a look at US history, if you get a 2 on it, you can waive classes, but if you get a 3, 4, or 5, you actually get credit. So when you waive a course, it's basically like you don't have to take the course and it will count towards your degree program, but you don't get actual credits for it. So you're still going to have to take classes that fulfill that credit amount to get to whatever you need to graduate. Also, this is a very concise list. Recently, they changed some of these requirements. So I would literally just Google Michigan State AP credit transfer, and you'll get a whole PDF of the accurate transfer and credit, equivalencies and all that. And that'll go for AP and IB as well.
And make sure when you sit down with your advisor at AOP that you tell them, I took AP, you fill in the blank, tell them, so that they can, if your score hasn't been transferred here yet, they can look it up for you, or they can schedule around it. So if you still haven't got your score and MSU doesn't have your score, but you think you got a 4 or a 5 and you did well on your AP English, they'll shift your WRA to the spring semester, not put it on your fall. They have ways to work around missing AP scores, or so just make sure you let them know that you've got AP scores that are yet to come in.
Alex.
Electives. So when you go to AOP, do they enroll students in electives, or is that a big part of it?
Well, one of the things that they're going to make you do before you leave your one-on-one college advising, they will not let you go into what's called the computer lab without 3 what they call alternate courses, which is in essence an elective, because of the fact that there are courses that are filling up and they may not be able to get you into that FW 100, or they may not be able to get you into some other course that they've put down as your schedule. And so this is when you want to kind of have in your back pocket some ideas of what courses are electives that might count towards a minor that you're interested in or another major that you are still exploring. And so rather than do that under the duress and stress of sitting there during your one-on-one advising when you're feeling rushed, here again, it'd be really helpful if you got onto those academic program guides and looked at other courses that are especially at the 100 and 200 level that are of interest to you, that you might want to use as what they call alternate courses at AOP. So in essence, sometimes they might be electives, but you're going to use them towards a minor, or you're going to use them as a way to explore another major.
And there's a list on the slide that kind of covers a lot of the courses that RISE students have had experience with. Just from personal experience, BUS 190 and CSIS 200 are good courses to kind of get into sustainability and entrepreneurship.
Great, thanks, Alex. So we just have a few more slides that we're going to cover, and I just wanted to emphasize, after we've been thinking about types of courses and degree programs and different ways that credit might transfer, a larger national initiative that MSU is definitely a part of, which is the 15 credit campaign. There's been some research to suggest that students, even though full-time student status is 12 credits per semester, there's research to suggest that starting off at a faster pace, or 15 credits for both fall and spring semester, or finishing 30 credits during your first year, will result in quicker graduation. And it makes sense, obviously, you're taking more credits, you're going to get to graduation faster. But we have a couple of different data points to show you. So intensive is 15 plus both semesters. Only 15% of MSU students currently take 15 credits per fall and spring semester. High enrollment, 27% of students take fewer than 15 their fall, and then 15 or more in the spring. Medium enrollment is basically the opposite of that. And then the bulk of MSU students come in with fewer than 15 credits in both the fall and the spring, 42%. And what we know on the next slide is, if you look at this intensive column specifically, you'll see that the 4-year graduation rate is significantly higher than the overall. And as it goes down, you can see 4-year graduation rate is more than 20 points higher than those who take fewer credits. So as you're also thinking about leaving AOP, we would also encourage you to consider having at least 15 credits on your fall and your spring semester. That also gives you some potential wiggle room, that if you need to drop a course, you can drop a course and still maintain your full-time enrollment status, which is 12 credits. And there's a number of different things that are affected by dropping below 12 credits, including financial aid and housing, I believe, as well. I think that's wrapping up. Mia?
Okay, so we're just going to go over these last few bullet points. So you guys just make sure you have NSA 192 on your schedule for the fall. Check your MSU email daily. I highly recommend that. You starting off, you won't get a lot of emails, but it will pile on. Trust me, you need to stay on top of them. Like Heather just went over, make sure, or at least try to shoot for 15 credits for both your semesters your freshman year. And we are all available for any questions, advising, scheduling questions, and whatnot. But remember, you cannot change your schedule until August 28th after you do make it. So I'm going to open up to the students. You guys can unmute yourselves and ask any questions to anyone.
I am going to stop sharing my screen as well so that folks can see one another.
You can also type some stuff in the chat if you don't want to actually say it. That's
Any questions, anyone? Any final concerns before you get to AOP? Hey, hi, Stephanie.
My question is, since that I saw on the orientation information packet that I received in my MSU email that it said not to bring a computer. So without a computer, how do we register for our classes?
Great question. There's a computer lab that they're going to send you to, where there are AOP staff, which are other students, and you'll enroll in your courses in the computer lab.
So you don't need a computer at AOP, but you will need a computer when you get here in the fall.
Yeah.
Other questions? All right. Lori, any final thoughts?
MasterCard Scholar?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're thrilled. We just had 2 MasterCard Scholars graduate on Saturday, and I'm still missing them terribly. And so we just love our MasterCard Scholars. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be a part of RISE.
Did you get, do we have you coded for your housing?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Is everybody signed up for housing? Did you all find your rooms and everything? You're good?
Heather, we
Great.
have a question about the 15 plus credits over in the chat box.
Ah, yes. Strengths. That's a great question. So we actually use the Strengths Finder inventory in our NSC 192 class. And I do think when you're thinking about 15 plus credits, you do want to take classes that you can do well in your first year. 15 credits is a good number, but also think about the combination of classes that you're considering. Sometimes, and you know, some of our current students can kind of talk about this, like, do you want to take calculus plus Chem 141 plus all in your first semester? So 15 credits, consider your strengths. Also think about the combination of courses that may help you be most successful that first semester. Other thoughts from any of my other co-presenters?
Yeah, I took 17 credits both semesters this year, so I can really talk on this. Last semesters, like in the fall, I didn't have that much extra work on top of things because a lot of my classes weren't like super intensive. I was taking like Psych 100. I was taking a film class for like arts and letters requirements and different things. And I had like my stat class, which was like the most intensive class. Then this semester, I took an IAH, an ISS, an ISB, a biolab, and I took Sociology 100. And there was a lot more work required of me. And so it's really the combination of classes that can really make or break the workload that you have, which is why like it can be more manageable if you're taking like a better mixture of classes.
Great point.
And please don't hesitate to email us, or we'll probably give you Abdullah's hotline so you can text him. Before you get to AOP with questions. I know we just dumped a lot of information into your head today, but as you get in there and start exploring your majors and your colleges and the courses, feel free to shoot us a note, and we're really happy to chat with you on the phone or text or email and give you some advice about majors or connect you with other students that are in those majors so you can talk to people that are experiencing them firsthand. We really want you to have a positive experience at AOP, and we're here to support you through all of that.
And for those folks who aren't joining us live but are watching this as a recording, the same goes for you as well. So please join us, call us. We'll make sure that information is available, and if anything, go to our RISE website. So. Great.
We're super excited to have you here. You're about to be part of an amazing community of I'm looking at all my current RISE students right now. They're some of the kindest, most caring people that I have the privilege of working with on a daily basis. They're just so inspirational. They're world changers. And Heather and I say we've got the best job on the planet because we get to work with these people. On my down days, I just look at my students and say, wow, they're making the world so much better with all the cool things that they're doing. And we're in really good hands, and you're about to step into this community that's just so supportive. You're not going to be overwhelmed by the big size of this university. You're going to be in a small community and yet have all the benefits of a big university. So welcome. This is your new home, and we're here to help you make it a really smooth transition. Don't hesitate to contact us. Cool.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good to meet you virtually. We look forward to seeing you in person.
Have a good summer.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.